Welcome to another episode of the AA Sports Podcast. My name's Art, here with my brother Alex.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Alex, we're a little bit behind today because we couldn't record on Sunday night, so now we're recording Monday night. We're going to go over the NFL, the Wildcard Sunday games, and then we'll go over the National Championship game and some news that hit the NFL today with Doug Pederson being fired by my Eagles. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So let's jump right into it. This is going to be hopefully not too long of an episode. We start with the Sunday morning. The Ravens went to Tennessee and beat the Titans 20-13. What were your thoughts on the game, Alex?
You know what? I thought it was a really good game. I thought it was very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I was already on the train of Lamar Jackson was going to prove that he's not what everybody thinks he is, but he proved that he is a playoff quarterback.
You know, and he didn't do it with his arm. Like, if you look at his stats, I think he only had like 170-something yards passing. But he made the throws when he needed to make them.
Yeah.
He definitely ran the ball extremely well, over 100 yards rushing, I believe. And that's what kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, the defense of the Ravens held Derrick Henry to like 30-something yards, 40-something yards.
Yeah, Derrick Henry couldn't get anything going. It looked like he was frustrated too on the sidelines. There was just no holes for him. That defense for the Ravens is no joke, man.
No, and I think they sold out to stop Derrick Henry, and Tannehill just couldn't make the throws today. You know, AJ Brown started the game well, but then he kind of disappeared in the middle of the game. Yeah,
there was one throw that Ryan Tannehill missed on to hit AJ Brown. That was he was wide open, and he actually threw it to, who did he throw it to? Jonnu Smith or somebody where they dropped the ball and it was like third down and then they were forced to punt, and AJ Brown was wide open. He would have made that catch had Tannehill thrown it to him.
No, I think it was the interception at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those passes.
It might have been the interception because he had his cornerback beat, and Tannehill just didn't look his way. He looked the way of the other wide receiver. Corey Davis was out too towards the end of the game. Not sure what happened there. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee just didn't look good. Derrick Henry couldn't run the ball, and Tannehill couldn't make the throws when they needed him to make them. Baltimore is going to go to Buffalo and play the Bills next week. We'll give a little preview on that game later on this week. But I think that's going to be an exciting defensive matchup because you got an exciting player in Lamar Jackson and probably the third best quarterback this year in Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You know, running the offenses and two good defenses. So it should be an exciting game there. Moving on, the afternoon game was the Chicago Bears going to New Orleans and losing to the Saints 21-9. This game was on Nickelodeon. Which game did you watch, Alex? Did you watch the Nickelodeon feed or did you watch the CBS feed?
I watched the Nickelodeon one just because I was curious of what they were going to show, but I flipped it back onto the to the regular one. I was like, you know what? I thought they were actually going to throw some slime or something, you know, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather just watch it regularly. But I mean, I knew this was going to happen. I don't think this was a surprise to anybody. The Bears can have a good defense, but your defense is only going to get you so far. If your offense cannot score points, then you're kind of just stuck in the mud.
And the defense seemed to hold the Saints in check for the most part. You know, I'm not going to say like they completely shut them down, but they were able to get some stops to give their offense a chance. And Trubisky just couldn't move the ball for most of that game. And the Saints defense is really good. You know, don't get me wrong, but like you said, the defense can only take you so far. You got to go and put up points, and Trubisky and the Bears just weren't able to put up points. Yeah,
the Bears didn't have Darnell Mooney. They didn't have Anthony Miller. Mm-hmm. He got ejected.
Yep.
And all they had was Allen Robinson, really. I mean, Montgomery couldn't really get anything going, and I mean, we all know what happens with Trubisky. So,
yeah.
I mean, Allen Robinson was about the only guy that had some good catches. So, Yeah, I mean, Saints came away with a good win.
The Saints will be hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday, I believe, Sunday night. As for the Bears, Trubisky is on his fifth-year option for next season. Reports are that they will not exercise the option on him, so he will not come back to the Bears. And Allen Robinson is a free agent after this year. So the Bears are in that Bears offense is going to be in rebuild mode if they're not able to make any offseason moves. Especially with they have a really good defense, a young defense, good players coming out of drafts, but it just, on offense, they just cannot put up enough points.
Definitely not. They can't really get anything going on offense.
No, they cannot. Moving on to probably the most surprising game of the weekend, the Cleveland Browns going to Pittsburgh and beating the Steelers 48-37. And looking at the score, it was an 11-point game. But this game did not feel like an 11-point game, throughout. Talk to me about the Browns' big victory here.
Man, I don't know. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to beat the Browns, but I said for the Browns to win, everything was going to have to go right for them. And boy, did everything go right for them. In the first quarter, are you kidding me? A high snap.
First play, right?
Yeah, pretty much first play. A high snap. Goes into the end zone. Browns recover. It's a touchdown. Mm-hmm. On the next drive, it's Ben Roethlisberger throwing a pass to, I forgot which receiver it was. It was tipped. He didn't catch it. Then the Browns come away with an interception, and then they score on that drive. Mm-hmm. And then they couldn't stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, man. These guys were running with a purpose. And let me tell you, Jarvis Landry is a force to be reckoned with, man.
Yep.
The way he was running his routes, he was making defenders look like
silly.
Like piece of cake.
Well, the Steelers didn't have Joe Hayden, I think, for this game, which doesn't help. But
I don't think it would have made a difference. No. Not the way this game went.
No, not the way the game started. I mean, the Browns come out to a 28-0 lead in the first quarter. I mean, you're climbing uphill, the rest of the game, and it's just hard. It's just impossible to catch back up after that. We saw after the game Ben Roethlisberger just kind of sitting there, teary-eyed, talking to Marquise Pouncey. You think he comes back next year?
Who, Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah.
I think he does. You know why I think he does? I think the Steelers still have a good team enough for Ben Roethlisberger to give it one more go.
I don't think he comes back.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think he's done. I think he's a I think I read he's a $42 million cap hit on the team, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Juju Smith-Schuster is on the final year of his contract, so he'll be a free agent. I doubt they bring him back. So I think the Steelers are in the same boat as the Bears. Good defense, solid defense, but without your quarterback and one of your top receivers, without them coming back, you're definitely in rebuild mode. You could see they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, so a run game that's plummeted since I think earlier in the season when they had success with the run game. Since then, we've not seen it.
I agree. Yeah.
What do you think the Steelers are gonna have to do? Do you think if they don't bring back Juju, what are they gonna have? They're gonna have Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. Is James Washington still gonna be on the team?
Probably. So I mean, they have a good young receiving core, but these are still young guys. Claypool's a rookie. Deontay Johnson's young. And
none of this is going to matter if they don't have somebody to throw the ball to.
Exactly.
Because we've seen what happens.
If we have Mason Rudolph throwing the ball, then there's going to be problems.
You're better off swinging yourself with hitting yourself with a helmet at that point.
Oh, man. As for the Browns, they will go to Kansas City and play the Chiefs. Play the Chiefs next week. I believe they play on Saturday morning. Great game, I think.
Yeah.
Browns defense looks really, really good, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle the Chiefs. Again, we'll give a preview later this week on those divisional games coming up on Saturday and Sunday. Any last comments on any of the three games?
You know what? I thought it was a good game by Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
For the most part, I thought he did a good job of bringing them back into that game.
After those 3 interceptions, he really kind of did settle down.
What did he end up with? 400 and something yards?
507, I think.
507 with what? 5 touchdowns?
I think he had 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
No, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns,
like
3 interceptions, something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, great numbers, but I think they said he's the second quarterback to throw for 500 yards in the playoffs and lose. Can you name the other?
No.
Tom Brady against the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Oh, God. Get over it, will you?
Moving on.
You know what? I want to see Kareem Hunt against the Chiefs. I knew Kareem Hunt was running with a purpose.
Oh, that's right. Revenge game for Kareem Hunt.
He actually did an interview. And
Did he really?
said it's personal.
Oh.
And he looked like it was personal.
Okay.
All right. This guy was bulldozing guys. He was freaking just running it into the end zone, doing push-ups in the end zone after he scores a touchdown. You think this guy's messing around? I don't think so.
Maybe I'll look for the clip and maybe I'll add it to our preview episode.
There you go.
So we can talk about it.
It was actually his first touchdown that he scored. He started doing push-ups in the end zone.
Well, not that. I'm saying the interview where he says it's personal.
Oh, okay.
I'll look for that and I'll add it to our next podcast. All right,
Sounds
moving on.
good.
So Monday night we had the College Football National Championship where Alabama completely destroyed Ohio State 52-24. I had picked Ohio State to win. Alex, was it the first play of the game or the first drive of the game where Trey Sermon goes down?
It was the first drive of the game.
Well, I know it was the first drive, but I think it was the first or second play, if I'm not mistaken. He gets tackled down and lands awkwardly on that shoulder, and he's done. I think that was his only carry.
Yeah.
Do you think that affected Ohio State? Because I don't think so.
No, I think Alabama was just gonna wipe the floor with him regardless. I don't know. Ohio State cannot stop Devontae Smith.
No, and
There was no way.
And nobody
How
can
do
stop
you
him
have
out
a linebacker covering Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
One of probably the fastest guy on the field,
of here.
and you're gonna have a linebacker cover him?
You know, after,
Get out of here. You should not be coaching.
After the semifinal games, a lot of people were saying Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence. Well, not in this game. Like you could see, Justin Fields had trouble with that Alabama defense. His playmakers could not get open. He just didn't take the risks.
That
either.
Olave guy, we talked about him in the last podcast. This guy was nowhere to be found. I think he had one good catch, 2 good catches at most.
He had Patrick Surtain all over him from Alabama. So Alabama just completely destroyed them. Devontae Smith, we talked about, I think in the first half, he had 13 catches for 130-something yards and like 3 touchdowns in the first half.
In the first 20 minutes of the game. First 20 minutes of the game, I read somewhere he had, what was it? Was it like 10 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown in the first 20 minutes of the game?
Yeah.
Nobody has 10 receptions, 124 yards, and 1 touchdown in 20 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
Some people don't even get that in the whole game.
Exactly. Some people don't get that in their whole career, like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Anyways.
Forget about the Eagles, man. We're not talking about the Eagles right now.
All right.
We're talking about the national championship game.
Okay, so coming out of the national championship game, Mac Jones, the quarterback, I don't think he's a great quarterback, but his job is to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers, and that's what he did.
I think he was on the money today.
Well, yeah, but I didn't see really too many difficult throws or, Devontae Smith was open most of the time, so it's not like it's a hard throw. He had a couple throws that he had to make, but you get my point where hits Devontae Smith running all over the place and then, he's open and let me just toss him the ball real quick.
Devontae Smith, he just showed his speed
everywhere.
I mean, it was like he could outrun everybody.
Ohio State was gassed after the first half of the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. They were already gassed, just trying to chase him around.
I liked what Mac Jones was doing with every time I think he ran a play action. I don't know if it was the first 2 times where he got sacked and they forced a fumble. Ohio State did, which kept them in the game, I think, in the first half.
Mm-hmm. because they went and scored after that.
Right. And then on the next play action, they were about to get to Mac Jones, and he just throws it across the field to Najee Harris. And then Najee Harris scores on that pass. So let me tell you, man, Najee Harris is a big dude.
And he is very, very good.
And he's fast, dude. For a big guy, oh, man. I'd hate to tackle that guy.
Yeah, very good. Very, very good runner. I was surprised that Jalen Waddle played. He had that first catch in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were contemplating whether he was going to play or not, right?
Well, yeah, he had just had ankle surgery like 3 months ago, and you could tell he wasn't right, to be running around. And
he still made some good catches.
Yeah, but he came up limping a couple times after those catches. So I mean, it's
the national championship game. You got to put everything on the line.
Yes, but I mean, come on, the guy has a fractured ankle. You saw the center. The center didn't play for Alabama till the end. They put him in because he had a knee issue, I believe. They put him in kind of ceremoniously. So I guess we'll be talking about some of these guys when it comes to the NFL draft time. But I'm really excited now for Devontae Smith to see where he gets drafted.
You know what?
He is a difference maker.
Yeah, coming into this game, I thought, like, is this guy really that special? Is he who people are saying he is? Yeah. Are they anointing him the best receiver that have ever played in college football? Apparently he is.
Yeah.
This guy could do whatever he wants when he wants.
And you can't do anything about it.
Look at his arms, man. His arms are literally like they're almost to his kneecaps.
Yeah.
When he's standing up straight. His freaking legs are long. His torso's kind of short. But it's like he just goes and floats and gets it right up there. Mm-hmm. Like it's nobody's business.
Yep.
He's open whenever he wants. He runs good routes. He's fast as hell. Mm-hmm. How do you stop this guy?
Yeah, you can't.
Unless when you got a linebacker on him, for Christ's sakes.
Linebacker it looked like he was limping when he was running.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to catch him.
Yeah. No. I would have just came up limping too.
Is there anybody else that stood out to you besides Najee Harris? Because we know he had destroyed. He had 3-4 touchdowns?
Yeah, I think he had 3 touchdowns in the second quarter.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns. Mac Jones had finished for 5 touchdowns until they put in their backup. Devontae Smith finished and he hurt his
right hand actually. So
right. I guess it was 2 of his fingers broke him maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I just I seen him. He walked out with that towel over his hand. We'll have to check on that, especially when it comes to the draft and the combine and all that.
Did you see that hit I posted on Instagram? I don't know if anybody's gonna know about the hit. It was in the first quarter
on the tight end.
Yeah, it was on the tight end. I don't know who made that. Who made that hit?
I believe his last name was Battle.
Yeah, for Alabama.
Yes.
He literally led with the crown of his helmet to the tight end of Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, I said in the last podcast that I'm all for some nice hits, man. I love to see somebody getting laid out, right? Not like that, dude. That's not what I meant, man. That's a hit where you're damaging your own career.
And your opponent.
That's how people get paralyzed, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot hit like that. And what was even more scary was the tight end, when he fell, it looked like he was giving a blank look.
He was out.
It hit his helmet, and then it grazed his helmet and then hit him in the neck.
Yeah.
I was like,
he was out. He was out. And he did pop right back up and he kept playing. But come on, how does nobody on the sideline bring him out and hey, let me check on you first before you go back out there?
Yeah. That was a dangerous hit.
I thought the running back for Ohio State, Teague.
Yeah.
I think he played well. He didn't play great. He played well. They were missing a couple offensive linemen. Then they had another offensive lineman go down. So, I mean, Alabama was the better team all season long. Right. I think we had, especially me, I had this false illusion of Ohio State being able to do to them what they did to Clemson with creative play calling, but they just couldn't. And all the creative play calling came from Alabama.
Yeah.
They were just able to get their best players the ball and just let them do their thing. And I mean, when you have a guy like Devontae Smith, like you just find ways to get him the ball, and he'll do the rest.
I mean, how many times did he run that little, I'm going to run left and right and all this stuff, and this guy and the, a corner's going to chase him around on the other side of the ball. He ends up getting tired by the time they even snap the ball.
Exactly.
Devontae Smith just runs right past him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, Jesus, he's just too fast for anybody to get to him.
And that excites me because the Eagles have this number 6 pick. And if Devontae Smith is there and they don't take him, I'm going to be very upset.
You think he's going to fall to the 6th pick?
I mean, okay.
This guy's the Heisman. There has never been another college wide receiver like this guy.
Yeah.
You think he's going to fall to the 6th? I'd be surprised if he even fell to the 4th.
Yeah. Okay.
After Trevor Lawrence. You think everybody's going to want to take Justin Fields now? Look what just happened.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, he was hurt. Like, you could see that hip was bothering him.
Oh, of course he was hurt. Look at it. They got demolished 52-24. I'd be hurt too. I'd be looking for excuses.
Oh, man. Yeah, but once we get into draft season, NFL draft season, we'll definitely we'll go over who we think is going to get drafted. I just hope Devontae Smith gets to number 6 so the Eagles can pass on him and I can fucking have a heart attack.
Yeah, this guy's the real deal, man.
And
every pro in the NFL was talking about Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
This guy is the goods.
He is. You can see it. Any last thoughts on the national championship game?
No. You know what? Alabama's one hell of a football program.
Yeah. And shout out to Nick Saban. I think he passed. He's now the winningest championship coach in college football history.
What was that? His seventh national title?
Yep.
Jesus. Seventh national title.
That's hard to do. Hard to do. And it just consistently every year Alabama's close to the top. That's what's really difficult to do.
Where do they get all these guys, man? Do they just have a good recruiting system? Do they have a good
Well, I mean, when you're Alabama, players want to go to Alabama because they want to win.
Right.
You know, and then you go out and you recruit players that are on the fence, like, well, I want to go here or I want to go there. Okay, well, let's go visit that guy so we can get him to come to Alabama.
Right.
You know, they were talking about how some of the DBs were from Florida, where the game was played. Excuse me, and others from Alabama. They had like defensive linemen from Philadelphia. They recruit all over. They want the best of the best, and they get who they want.
Yeah, apparently, man, because everybody wants to go to their school.
It's rare the guy that turns down going to Alabama. All right, moving on to the big news in the NFL today. Doug Pederson. Doug Pederson is out as the Philadelphia Eagles coach. He got fired. Okay, He won Super Bowl 52 with the Eagles. They went 13-3 that year. Since then, 22-25-1. Your thoughts on Doug Pederson getting fired?
You know what? I knew there was a lot of turmoil in Philly. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if this whole time we were saying, was Carson Wentz going to get canned? Was Jalen Hurts going to be the starter? I don't think too many people were like, Doug Pederson's really going to get fired.
I wasn't.
I didn't wake up one day and was like, you know what? The Eagles are going to fire Doug Pederson. I was thinking more, no, you know what? They're going to figure out this quarterback situation with Doug Pederson in the picture. He's no longer in the picture. What happened?
Are you asking me what happened?
Yeah. What happened?
Let me get a drink of water.
I want answers. Because I don't know. Listen, the Eagles have been awful. These past, 2 seasons?
3 seasons.
3 seasons. They've been awful. Was it time for Doug Pederson to go?
I'm going to tell you, if you follow the Philly media, you'll hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't follow the Philly media. What do they say?
That's the thing. If you follow like the ESPN media on Philadelphia, like all they do is talk crap. But here's what happened.
Well, that's what we do.
And this is a timeline that avalanched into him getting fired. Okay, Super Bowl 52. Frank Reich, who is now the Colts head coach.
Yeah.
John DeFilippo, who was the offensive coordinator for the Vikings after that Super Bowl, get taken out of there. Doug Pederson, instead of finding an offensive coordinator, promotes from within the wide receivers coach to be offensive coordinator. That following season, we were terrible. Wentz had that broken ribs. Foles came in, took us to the playoffs. We lose to the Saints on that drop pass by Alshon Jeffrey. Things seemed okay. We made it to the playoffs. A dropped pass by Alshon. We were driving. We were getting close to the red zone.
And to your guys' credit, the majority of you guys were hurt.
That season, we had a lot of injuries too. Okay.
You guys had the Philly curse going on.
Yeah, that's the Super Bowl was the curse, apparently, because we lose offensive coordinator, QB coach, and then lose a bunch of players to injury. Moving on to the following season, Pederson gets rid of the wide receivers coach because it's not working. So he doesn't hire an offensive coordinator at all. He's in charge of the offense. And we have this horrific year of injuries where all our receivers go down. Our line stays somewhat healthy, but we make it to the playoffs again, lose after Wentz gets hurt on the hit by Jadeveon Clowney, lose to the Seahawks, and we made the playoffs. Well, sure, we weren't a good team. The division wasn't good, but we made the playoffs, and we had injuries, so we kind of had that excuse.
I think people don't give the Eagles credit for that one. I think that hit by Jadeveon Clowney should have never happened, but it did. I don't know who let that happen, but it was, to me, it looked.
It was a
blatant.
dirty. It was a dirty.
It looked like a dirty hit.
And I think Wentz already has a bad reputation of being quote unquote injury prone. So.
Right.
I
think they let that one slide because of that.
People are more worried about Wentz getting injured than the actual play itself. Like, Wentz got hurt because he's injury prone. No, that was a late hit. That was a bad hit. Anyways, after that, he gets rid of some more offensive personnel because they were complete garbage that year. And this past season, he promotes again from within. He gets the QB coach, the offensive line coach, and our offense is completely terrible. Wentz sucked. I will be the first to admit that Wentz was terrible. Okay? But our offensive game planning was not that good either. You could see how some of the play calls were just bad. Receivers couldn't get open. Our running game was the only thing that worked, and we never ran the freaking ball, which was really bad. So that all comes down to coaching as well. Okay, we finish on, Wentz sucks. They bench Wentz. Hurts comes in, has a good couple games, and then you start seeing the rookie come out of him. Against Arizona, against Dallas, you saw that rookie show up. Yes, he played well, but he's still a rookie. Then apparently the Giants, the Washington football team game against the Eagles in Week 17 was a bigger deal than I thought because everybody's upset that we lost the game. I mean, we had nothing to play for. They wanted to evaluate Nate Sudfeld, who everybody was pretty high on. He completely sucked, and and we lost, and it seemed like the world crumbled from there. So then Jeffrey Lurie.
Well, let me tell you something.
Hold on, let me finish my timeline. I'm already catching up to the end.
All right. Well, your timeline is making no sense.
Well,
go ahead.
Okay, after Week 17, they get rid of whoever was helping out Doug Pederson in the offense because the owner and Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, want a new offensive system in there. So they asked Doug Pederson, okay, what's your plan? And he wants to promote from within. He wants to take the QB coach that's there now and some other offensive guy to help out. And you know what? That hasn't worked. We lost Jim Schwartz to retirement, who was our defensive coordinator. We just lost everybody. And now it seemed like it was like a revolving door that was never going to stop. Like Pederson just wanted to keep promoting from within instead of bringing in somebody from the outside with fresh ideas. And it seemed like management didn't like that. The ownership didn't like that. And Doug Pederson didn't like that. The ownership didn't like that. You know? So in the end, I think it's best for everybody to just start over. And by everybody, I mean ownership and Doug Pederson. What were you going to say?
Who's that backup that you just mentioned?
Nate Sudfeld?
Sudfeld. Listen, they had the entire season to look over Sudfeld.
Yeah.
They had the entire season.
We're too busy looking at Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, they had the entire season. You didn't have to tell me that he sucked. He sucked when he was born.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around that one, right? He wasn't starting for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I could see why people were upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
You have any thoughts on the Eagles firing Doug Pederson?
You know what? I think it's a good move for Doug Pederson because you said it, and everybody else is saying it, that he's tired of people telling him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're a head coach, you're the head coach for a reason. If your freaking GM or whatever the case is telling you who to draft or your own circle or your own players have lost faith in you, well then here's your team, get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? Here's your team, do what you want to do with it. I'm out.
And Doug Pederson comes from the Andy Reid system of a tight-knit coaching staff where you don't lose too many pieces. Andy Reid didn't lose a lot of offensive coordinators. Like he always had somebody there, to help him out with the play calling. Jim Johnson was his defensive coordinator forever. Doug Pederson didn't have to worry about the defense, but it was just our offense that just since the Super Bowl, it just avalanched or it snowballed into like this giant problem that came to a halt this past season.
I just think you guys have not been doing a good job drafting as well.
That too.
I think you guys haven't been addressing needs the way you should be.
I think we did address needs, but we just hit on the wrong players.
Well, the wrong needs.
Well, I mean...
when you're skipping over guys like Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I mean, I'm tired of getting shit like fooled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean a third side. Listen, this is the third draft since Metcalf and Justin Jefferson.
Well, it was Metcalf the year before.
So Jefferson, it's already been 3 drafts. You guys messed up.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh no, we didn't mess up. We got Jalen Hurts. He was supposed to be the savior.
How'd that go?
Well, I told you. He looked good the first 2 games.
I thought he did.
He did look good. Don't get me. He did, but it's the NFL. You get a little bit of tape on a guy, and you could stop him.
Defenses make adjustments. Apparently,
exactly. And then it was Arizona and Dallas. So,
well, see, the analytics would have told you that Seinfeld was gonna do good because nobody had any tape on him.
Sudfeld.
Nobody had any tape on the guy. Man. He should have done good.
Yeah, I agree.
God forbid there was some tape on him. Jesus.
Imagine if the Washington football team had tape on Nate Sudfeld.
Jesus.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was a good one.
You're better off just taping his hands together, and that's it.
Any last thoughts on the Eagles and Doug Pederson parting ways?
Not really.
No. Well, I want to say thank you to Doug Pederson for the Super Bowl 52, because you're a Lakers fan. You got to see 6 Lakers championships in your lifetime. I've only seen 1 Eagles championship.
And you guys had always been there with Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, we were there, for, 4 straight years in the NFC Championship game.
And just always came up just a tad bit short.
A tad bit short.
But unfortunately for Doug Pederson, it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, and lately he's been really bad.
I hope they at least thank him for that Super Bowl.
You know what? The first team statements that came out weren't too thankful.
We'll reveal them, man. We want to know.
Well, I mean, you want me to read word for word? It's a long.
Sure, go. Sure. What is it? Was it for some players, some coaches?
No, it's from the owner.
Like Howie Roseman?
No, Jeffrey Lurie.
Oh no.
Yeah,
well, that's not good. If you're the head honcho.
The head honcho.
Oh no, this isn't good, guys. Here we go.
Jeffrey Lurie. I've spent the last few weeks evaluating everything from this past year and looking ahead. We are all very disappointed with the way our season went and eager to turn things around, not just for next season, but for the future of the franchise. Coach Pederson and I had the opportunity to sit down and discuss what the collective vision would look like moving forward. After taking some time to reflect on these conversations, I believe it is in both of our best interests to part ways. I have known Doug and his family for more than 20 years, and they will always be family to me. A tremendous amount of respect for him and everything we have accomplished together over the last 5 seasons. Everyone in the organization understands the type of man and coach that he is and how much he means to all of us as well as the city of Philadelphia. We look forward to the day he will be inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame as a Super Bowl winning head coach, and we are confident he will have success with his next team. But as the leader of this organization, it is imperative for me to do what I believe is best for everyone as we look ahead to the future and move on into our next chapter. I know that we have work to do to get back to where we want to be, but I also believe that we have an exceptionally strong group of people in this organization who can help set us up for future success. That was a lot of future talk and nothing about, I mean, he's sure, like, I hope you get into the Eagles Hall of Fame one day, but other than that, it was a lot of let's look forward.
Yeah, that was a nice way of telling you thanks for nothing later on.
Exactly. But yeah, I want to say thank you to Doug Pederson, won us that Super Bowl. I don't think he was 100% to blame for the problems in Philadelphia, but we see it everywhere. The head coach is a scapegoat. Like if something's going wrong, let's fire the head coach and we'll get a new head coach and make it look like we're trying to do something new. And hopefully for the Eagles, this is a solution, but I don't think it will be 100%. And hopefully for Doug Pederson, he finds a new job where they kind of let him do what he wants to do, run the organization, run the team the way he wants to run it, because he's a brilliant mind. He really is. We had no business beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl. We had no business making it to the playoffs 2 years after that. And we had no business being close to winning the division this last season. So just because we were close and just because we made it to the playoffs, like that's a big accomplishment in those seasons. So thank you, Doug Pederson. Appreciate everything. Good luck in the future. And we'll move forward and we'll look at Eagles candidates or head coaching hires, because there's already lots of talk about who's going to come in and be the Eagles head coach, and I'm very interested to see that. And there's already talk of Pederson having jobs that are interested in him.
Yeah, I heard that they're already going to get some Zoom calls in.
The Jets are the big I guess the first big name.
The Jets?
The Jets. They have the number 2 pick.
I mean, you kind of want to go somewhere where you have a chance, no? I mean,
I think the Jets can be really good. They have the number 2 pick. I think Sam Darnold showed a lot this season. Even in defeats, he showed that he can make some good throws. I think with some offensive line help and some weapons around him, he could definitely make a difference. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And this is just the beginning, dude. Offseason just started, or the offseason hasn't even started yet, and we're already getting news like this. So wait till some of these teams get knocked out of the playoffs, and we're going to see a lot of changes coming, a lot of hires, a lot of fires. But hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Any last comments on this podcast?
No. You know what? Overall, I thought it was some really good games on Sunday. I was glad I got to watch them, and You know what? The national championship game was a little bit of a disappointment. I was waiting for a better game.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying this is gonna be close. In the first half, it was close. After that, it was over. You know, and Doug
wasn't even
Pederson,
close in the first half.
Yeah, it was. It just was not. I mean,
the score was close, but you could tell that Ohio State just didn't have enough.
I can't show my face around work anymore. I'm gonna be like, hey, I was asking everybody today. I was like, hey, you guys gonna watch the college football game? No, who's playing? Alabama, Ohio State. What do you mean? Who's playing? People are gonna probably ask me, hey, how'd the game go? Oh, dude, they didn't even play yesterday, bro. They canceled. It was postponed.
Rain delay.
COVID.
And speaking of COVID, the Sixers only have 8 available players, and they make them play. But the Rockets only have 7 available players. And I'll postpone. How come the 76ers don't get a postponement?
Well, welcome to my world.
What?
The ref screwed us, and people are over here talking like we didn't get screwed. Everybody's just saying, "Oh, the Bills are this, the Bills are that. They're the next Super Bowl team," anointing them like they're somebody. But they freaking got saved from the damn refs, and they're talking like Josh Allen is the best thing we've ever seen in God knows how long. Get out of here.
I really hope they play the Chiefs, because that would be the best team against the best team.
If they can get past the Ravens, who've been looking pretty good, that defense ain't no joke, man.
Yeah, and we'll have that on our preview coming up later this week. We'll also have a UFC preview, because we got UFC back this weekend. No boxing yet this weekend, but I mean we're looking at the schedule. We're keeping an eye on it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Give us a thumbs up, and yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode of the AA Sports Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
See you guys later.